shoulders by just one Superman or one. Oh.
On October 5th, 2025, Dee from Dee's Dark Adventures set out to film another night in the woods. Her channel documents real encounters in abandoned and haunted locations where isolation and darkness often blur the line between curiosity and danger. That night, she and Bear went deep into the forest toward an old livestock pen. The air was still heavy and cold, the kind of silence that feels unnatural. Moments later, the recording shook violently. Something had already gone wrong before the story even began.
But those woods look closer than they are. What?
Did you hear that?
Listen, listen.
Holy smokes, look.
Dude, turn.
I just heard some come from the barn too, but that was two huge flags.
I wonder if it was answering the one back there.
Did you hear that?
That wasn't a gun, was it? Well, that one knocked.
It was like some little...
Dude, careful, you're gonna break your damn leg. I'm wondering if it answered the knock from that one over there.
Yeah, I just heard something like walking right behind me.
Dude, this place is crazy, I'm telling you. Screams, everything.
Hours earlier, Dee and Bear had set up their equipment beside the collapsed livestock pen, a place long abandoned, moss-covered beams, rusted nails, and thick silence in the air. They had barely begun recording when a series of knocks echoed from the woods. It wasn't the wind, the night was completely still.
I told you, when something landed on that barn and took off or something, like a huge rock or something big, it had to be 80 plus pounds it landed on that.
80 pounds?
On the barn, and it didn't break, it didn't bend, it didn't nothing. It was just so heavy, it had to be something huge. And I'm just 80 pounds at least. If it was any bigger, it would have crushed it. All right.
Is that an eyeball?
Yeah.
Is that a huge eyeball?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, my bad. I don't see it. We need to find a spot and sit and be quiet and watch.
Put down some cat balls.
So far, we're the ones walking and they're doing stuff. I think that we walked into them knocking, but they would usually stop.
I wasn't happy with my knock. That old post.
What was that?
How would you call a dog?
How?
Everybody says you don't want to. Yeah.
No, you don't.
How would you chum in a dog? Whoa.
Stop.
Hey, a minute ago there was something big over there.
Hold on, dude. Did you hear that?
That's a whole different thing. Something different.
All right.
That last thing, how could be listening over here?
Whoop.
Listen.
I'm trying. Hang on. That wasn't real. That wasn't a real goose.
That sounded crazy.
That sounded weird.
Is there water around here?
There's a river, but it's way that way, like a 30, 40, maybe an hour walk.
Did it?
Now the owl's over there.
That is so crazy, man. It's like the owl's going with it too. The first thing was back right behind you.
I know. That's what they do, man.
That was two totally different sides.
Moments later came another sound, like ducks or geese calling nearby, even though there was no water close by. Two sharp knocks struck the pen walls, and Dee's camera captured a faint yellow glimmer deep in the trees, eyes reflecting in the darkness. As they moved deeper in the trail, disappeared beneath branches and fog. A loud crack made them freeze in place. Dee's flashlight flickered, then came the crash. Something heavy, at least 80 pounds, struck the roof above without leaving any mark.
My light is not dead. Oh my God! My lights are getting killed. Yeah, it's the second one. I've only got one left. Dang. All right. Stupid leg, get off. I'm stuck on these stupid bushes. I'm gonna come out a little bit more. Well, I can't see. The closer I get to these, I can't see over, and I keep hearing things. So I'm trying to be as far back as I can. Wow! All right, my whistle's scared. Listen.
Ow, son of a... What the heck just happened? What happened? Hey, what just happened? Huh? Holy smokes, man, you're freaking way back here. Come on. Hey, we gotta get, how do we even get out of here? That drove you back? That was through a whole freaking field.
Oh, my back is fucked.
There's a path. It just yanked you right through all that.
Where's my camera?
I don't know.
Oh my god, here. It's still going. Oh my god. It just drugged me.
I gotta get my camera.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, we gotta go.
I have no idea. Get your bag.
I'm trying. Go get your stuff. I got mine. Go.
I got your one bag. Come on.
It was thorns.
Let me see.
I don't want to let right now.
Come on.
We'll get to the truck. Go. Oh my god, my back is bleeding. I can feel it. It wouldn't let go until I said Jesus. As soon as I said Jesus, it let go. Hold on, I want to go. Are you okay?
Sorry.
Oh my god, dude, my bag. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Okay, let's go this way. I don't know.
The forest went silent until a deep growl rolled through the trees. The smell that followed was sharp and rotten. Dee said she watched the air colder on one side of the trail than the other. In a clearing, they found flattened leaves, as if something large had been resting there. Then came running footsteps, snapping branches, and a howl that circled them from every direction. Dee's camera caught the eyes again closer this time. Her light flickered once more, and a red glow appeared above Bear about 6 feet off the ground. Then came movement fast aggressive. She was pulled backward, the camera slamming into the dirt. The footage turned chaotic, muffled shouts, rustling struggle. Dee cried out in pain. Then, through shaking breaths, she spoke a single word. Everything stopped. Moments later, her voice returned, unsteady, gasping as they ran out of the forest, leaving everything behind. The video ended in silence. Viewers later noticed a dark figure moving behind a tree, along with faint footsteps just before the attack. One viewer commented that when she said that word, it gave them chills and suggested it showed the presence wasn't an animal. Another warned not to seek out monsters unless prepared to encounter one. No one could explain why the noises stopped the moment she spoke. Dee later confirmed she suffered minor injuries, but never released the full uncut footage. Since that night, she hasn't said whether she plans to return to that forest again. And as one comment noted, when you look into the darkness, it looks back. On September 27, 2025, a new video appeared on High Gear, a channel known for raw off-road rides crashes and encounters captured entirely on helmet cameras. That day, the rider headed into the Italian countryside for what seemed like a typical dirt ride. The sky was gray, restless, and the path ahead slick from early rain. What began as another test of skill would soon turn into a fight against the elements and endurance itself. The video began with rough terrain, uneven hills, muddy tracks, and hidden rocks beneath tall grass. Within minutes, the rider's tires started slipping, losing traction on the wet ground. As the sky darkened, the rain grew heavier. Visibility dropped, the lens covered in droplets. The rider complained about the tires, saying they couldn't grip the wet grass. Still, he pushed forward quietly, laughing, determined to keep going.
Okay, Vladimir found great right here. What the
Be careful because these tires are not so good on the grass, you know. Good shit, good shit. We came to the more fucked up road than this one. I like it. Okay, this is a road, man. We need to get somewhere on this shit, but we gotta keep it slow because look at these rocks, and the suspension of this bike is so trash. It's unbelievable. Big ass motherfucker. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, we get in it. I hope we don't end up in the river stream, man. Oh my god, look at it where we are.
Following the GPS, he tried to find a safer route through the woods. The path twisted into narrow sections lined with stone and mud. The uphill climb was intense. The engine roared wheels, spinning without grip. I gotta say, Vladimir didn't know that this bike has a ventilator too. So it was raining here, if you didn't realize that till now. The ground is a little bit wet, but it's still rideable. Very nice. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It must be somewhere here. Here is the linear. So my friends, with the help of the GoPro, I found these bitches and they're still gonna work, but I don't know how I'm gonna put them on the bike. I have some tools in the seat, don't have a clue which ones. First of all, I got to turn around the bike and put it on the main stand. In middle of Nebraska, nigga lost his fucking motocross bike parts, man. Holy fuck, man. So as I said, the bike shuts down if the stand is put down and you put in first gear. That's some safety bullshit, you know? So I need something bigger than this shit, man. Okay, this is fucked already. Fucking hell. Guys, you know, oh, I did that like nothing. This fender is fucked. I mean spring. It's twisted. Probably because of the natural design, which is shit. Okay, whatever. We can continue. Holy motherfucker, man. Yes, good that I have the main stander too, man. I would have complications without it. I fixed that bitch, but what happened now is shit started raining, bro. Fucking god, man, it's fucking with me. That's some real enduro bullshit. Oh bro, I feel the rain much more than earlier. Fuck off. Oh man, look at the rain. It started just now, man. When he finally reached the top, his voice carried through the wind relief mixed with exhaustion. The narrow forest path forced him to slow down. The suspension creaked over loose stones. He mentioned the smell of mushrooms in the damp air and how the uneven terrain made it difficult to stay on course. By around the 11-minute mark, something came loose. The headlight had fallen off. He stopped, lifted the seat, and began searching for tools. After a few unsuccessful attempts to fix it, he chose to continue. Following the dirt trail, he eventually reached an open area, and there, standing alone on the hillside, was an abandoned house. He laughed softly, half joking about living there. Inside, the walls were stripped bare. The only thing left was a rusted bed frame. For a moment, he stood quietly looking around. Then, without speaking, he stepped back outside, got on the bike, and rode into the storm once again. When the video went live, the comments quickly filled. Some focused on the weather and terrain, praising the trails, but others noticed something different, the silence that lingered over the footage. It was no longer just about the challenge of the ride, it was the feeling of being far removed from everything else. The rider never revealed where the house was, nor whether he returned. One viewer summed it up in a single line: no monsters, no ghosts, just a man and his machine against the world. On October 22, 2025, the YouTube channel Jasko, known for overnight camping challenges and paranormal exploration, uploaded a video filmed in the Star Hill Forest outside New York. In this video, Jasko and his friend Chris returned to a wooded area linked to old cemeteries and dark local legends. What begins as another overnight challenge quickly shows signs that this forest may not be as empty as it seems.
There was a serial killer that used to roam this forest and bury his victims all throughout the forest, as well as the cemetery. In the cemetery, it is also rumored to be haunted by this sort of white-faced demon. And people claim that you look it in its face, that it will scar you for life. There was once a woman who looked at this demon face to face, and she cannot talk to this day. So we're gonna go in there. Chris.
What was that?
Why did all of the lights by the tombstones shut off?
That's actually fucking weird.
Actually, guys, there's these little lamps right here. They're scattered all throughout the cemetery. I swear to God, when we got here, hold on. Actually, I just posted this on my Instagram story. Look at this. If you look in the cemetery, the lights are on.
What's concerning?
Jasko and Chris arrive at Star Hill Forest as night approaches. The area is quiet, surrounded by trees and old graves hidden in the darkness. Jasko explains the background of the location, including stories of violence and unusual activity. As they move through the cemetery, small details begin to stand out. Solar lights on the graves suddenly turn off as they get closer. The forest feels active even when nothing is clearly visible.
What's that like light green thing over there? You see
Yeah, I see that. I don't like that.
I'll take a picture.
That's very close.
I'm gonna zoom in on that. What is that? It looks like a tent. Look at my phone.
Yeah,
It's a tent, I
someone's
think.
camping over there.
No way.
That's a tent. You're right.
Checking.
Check it? No, I don't think I want to.
While exploring deeper into the woods, they notice something unusual in the distance. A light-colored tent sits among the trees. Neither of them recognizes it, and they choose not to approach. Soon after, they hear footsteps moving across dry leaves.
And we spoke to some people nearby, the gas stations and stuff, and a lot of people said never go back there because there were rumors of some dark practices that occurred back here. This is apparently the area where that girl seen the white-faced demon that had her basically unable to speak to this day. I hear like walking in the leaves, like the...
Yeah, crunching. Someone out here? Hello?
Wait.
Yeah, I heard that. Poor timing.
Hello? Listen, we don't want to go too far. We're just kind of curious to see who or what's out here. It is so chilling. It's so quiet.
Hello?
Whoa,
the fuck is
that sounds like a girl's voice.
Hello, you okay?
Do you need help?
It's up to you, bro.
All right, how about this? I have an idea, Chris.
Okay.
Before we make it back to the cemetery, prove to us that you're here, turn the lights back on in the cemetery, at least one of them.
I just saw a red light flash over there. What the fuck was that?
Wait, what?
Sorry, I'm looking over my shoulder. I just saw a red light flash over there. What the fuck?
I see it.
See it? Isn't that crazy?
Thank you. Can you tell me, were you murdered by the serial killer? Okay, so she hates you.
Oh, whoa, what the fuck? The fuck was that?
What is that? Chris, do you see it?
Yeah, what is that?
Who's down there? Oh! Oh my God, careful, careful. Go.
Where are we going?
The sounds are close enough to suggest someone else is nearby. When a red blinking light appears deeper in the forest, followed by a low growling sound, both decide to return to their truck. 2 days later, they come back to a different camping area nearby.
We drove by there the other night when we first came here, and there was people there. So, curious. Let's go take a look.
Can't see a single thing.
Oh my God.
Probably a good night to go look at the stars.
Someone had a fire here recently.
Okay.
100%, because it's still lit. I mean, you guys can see that. This is very recent. People are clearly here drinking. About 1.5 years ago, we had our tent set up here, and we left to go film in the forest. We came back, and our tents were completely destroyed. Like someone cut them up with knives.
They find a fire pit that is still warm with smoke lingering in the air. The fire appears recent, suggesting someone had been there not long before. Jasko then includes footage from an earlier visit to the same forest. During that trip, their tent had been slashed while they were away. The memory changes how they interpret the current situation.
That was crazy,
A shadow?
It literally in the straight back. It was a person, bro. It literally looked like a person just ran by the trees, like almost like a slow motion run. True.
Choking.
If we have to pee, just make sure we come right here.
Ooh.
Hello?
Ooh, boy.
Bro, what could have fallen from a tree besides leaves? That was heavy.
Locations hold power.
Someone just threw something.
I was gonna say we sleep here tonight. I still think that's the case, because apparition.
That's what I just saw.
Bro,
I literally
apparition
just saw
is
something
crazy.
run by the trees. What was that?
Whoa.
Ghost.
You don't scare us.
Oh, yeah. What scares me? A little bit.
Right here.
No. I don't want to.
Okay. I'm hearing some crazy noises over there. Whoa.
What the fuck?
Oh, let's go, 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 go. What is that?
As time passes, more unusual moments occur. Chris spots a dark figure moving quickly between the trees. Shortly after, a loud metallic sound echoes through the forest. Once again, they leave the area and regroup. They then visit the remains of an old foundation known as the Doctor's House.
Again, bro. Okay, guys, I have tried every single battery that I have for my night vision camera. Every single battery was at 100%. None of them are working. Like, none of these batteries are working. It's not a camera thing, because we used this literally yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Oh man, it's slippery, careful.
Oh, what the fuck?
Brother, my camera's being fucked with and now this?
Hello?
So that one time we were here, there was like a massive old luggage here, so moldy and nasty.
Yeah.
And inside was like a bunch of weird personal belongings and dolls and shit.
What is that?
That's crazy. That is crazy. Look at that. What's up? Ugh, ew. Look in there.
Okay.
Oh my God. What happened in this house? What is the residual haunting? Can you tell us?
To cause madness.
Marked. What was that? Yo, yo.
Hello? Bro, the truck's not far. We gotta go, we gotta go.
Thomas.
Thomas, was that you in one of the photos? Was that your car?
Shop. Sickness.
Sickness, of course, the doctor.
While filming, all of their night vision camera batteries suddenly drain despite being fully charged earlier. On the ground, they find old black and white photographs and a discarded hat. Using a spirit box app, they hear words connected to illness and violence. At the same time, the alarm on their truck goes off, signaling possible interference.
I don't even know, like, I just don't know enough about baseball. But,
Yeah, the Yankees won.
well, look.
What the f was that? Oh my God,
Hold up. Bro, I'm starting to think there might actually be like somebody out here.
who would be crazy enough to be out here?
No, I know that sounds dumb, but
As night falls, they camp and talk by the fire when something unexpected happens, increasing their unease and raising the tension. For safety, they decide to sleep inside the truck.
just talking. Someone's talking. I hear talking outside the truck. I was kind of awake. And I just opened my eyes because I swear it sounded like people were talking outside, and then I heard a whistle, and then I heard more people talking.
Their rest is quickly interrupted by strange sounds. Flashlights begin moving through the trees near the vehicle. The light keeps shining toward them and does not stop when they respond.
Jazz, wake up. Jazz, please. Bro, there's a fucking light over there. There's a light. There's something over there, look. There's a light right there. Actually a light. There's like a flashlight or something right in front of us.
Where is it? It's off now. Do you think there's someone out there?
That looked like someone holding a flashlight, like looking at us, just standing there. So it literally looked like there was a flashlight, like someone was like pacing back and forth. It was the weirdest thing.
As well.
Yo, look. Dude, it just flashed again. Someone just flashed right there. I'm telling you.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, see it?
Yeah,
That's
I see
what I'm saying.
it.
It's right there. I don't know what to do.
Can we help you? He's just ignoring us.
I don't understand it.
Moments later, something even more alarming occurs.
I don't know, like, I can say for full certainty, there's something weird going on in this forest. Like,
That was a fucking...
that was a gunshot.
There's no fucking way.
That was a gunshot. Okay, well, this is the only way out. I'm just gonna floor it and whatever the fuck happens, happens.
A loud gunshot echoes through the forest. Facing a clear threat, Jasko immediately drives away. Only then do they realize they may have been followed. Many viewers believe the repeated voices, lights, and gunshot point to human involvement rather than anything paranormal. Raising one unsettling question, how long had someone been watching before Jasko and Chris realized they were not alone? On November 16, 2024, the YouTube channel CJ Faison, known for solo van camping and outdoor exploration, uploaded a video filmed in the Pine Barrens forest of New Jersey. CJ travels alone to a remote area to camp overnight, choosing a quiet weekday to avoid people. The forest is known for its isolation and unsettling history. Before daylight faded into night, CJ rode his e-bike around the perimeter. The surroundings felt empty and neglected, with unpleasant smells in the air, giving him the sense that the area was not welcoming.
You know, there's nobody else camping here, which is good. It's good for me, in several ways, because also too, I don't know if you all feel the same way or not, but like sometimes some seclusion helps you determine whether or not these noises are paranormal, whatever the case might be. And that's why I wanted to get here. There's somebody right there. All right. A little strange. I'm gonna actually go this way just to see what this person's doing. So the truck went this way here. Fish. In some aspects, I think you can hunt out here too. Okay, there's another campsite, and it looks like another outhouse there. Being out here, the sun's kind of going down now. I'm gonna ride around a little bit more because, all right, nighttime, things get creepy. Yeah. I'm actually wishing that somebody was out here camping now, because it would just feel like a little bit more peace of mind. I don't see the trail anymore. So according to my map, I have to go way back that way. Basically, I'm going the wrong way, no light. I'm gonna cut the camera and head back that way as fast as I can. So let's get back to this main road.
On the ride back to camp, his feeling of isolation suddenly broke. Another vehicle was moving along the narrow forest paths ahead. He quickly turned off the trail and slipped into the shadows to avoid being seen, unease tightening in his chest. Back in the relative safety of his van, night fully set in. That was when the situation began to feel more serious.
That was an extremely bright light. I swore there was a bright light. A very bright light. Damn, that was so weird. Like, when I'm telling you that was a bright light, I'm saying that was enough light to make me like stop and be like, what the hell? Oh shit! Oh gosh damn it. I'm losing my mind. I'm literally losing my mind right now. Oh, that was this. Dokie, let me just tell y'all. Oh, I may or may not have shit my pants there for just a quick second. Let's go on let's kind of explore around a little bit here at nighttime. So
The heavy silence was suddenly interrupted when a bright high-intensity beam cut through the trees, sweeping across his campsite like a searchlight. With adrenaline rising, CJ turned off his interior lights, sitting in darkness to watch the unknown source.
hey, that was weird. Let me try something really quick. My camera just went doo-doo-doo and shut itself off as soon as I took a step. All right, I don't know. Weird coincidence where there's a haunted log in the middle of the forest. I don't know. That was actually a joke. This is so weird down here. Oh my gosh. Whoa. When I'm looking around, I don't know why I'm downhill or getting out of breath going downhill, but this vibe here reminds me of not only like the Pocomoke forest, but it also reminds me of gosh, I can't remember the name of that forest. Eleanor, the Eleanor forest. This gives me Eleanor forest vibes like through and through. The trees aren't like huge trees, or like just like smaller little thinner trees. I don't know if y'all can kind of see it or not, but that's how like the Eleanor forest was. And when I went in that forest, I cannot tell where that noise came from. The worst part is I'm in this valley. Ow. Like, I don't know if it came from down here. That's the van. That's my van. Shit. What the hell? My tripod's knocked over. Wait, I might have actually done that. When I left, I might have accidentally kicked that over or something. I don't know. And I don't know what this noise is over here. I don't know if it's like one of the airplanes. But there was something down in that valley making like a noise. And I'm not sure what the hell that was. Oh, fuck. I'm losing my shit. I really am. I also put the bed down, start getting it ready. I just wanted to clear the van, make sure nobody's.
Almost immediately, a strange metallic whining sound echoed from the direction of the swamp. His nerves gave way. He hurried back into the van and locked it down, his heart pounding.
Alright. I'm not sure exactly what I heard. I heard a bump, or like a thump or a thud, or I don't know. I can hear planes out of this window right here. I hate to overreact, but I think I'm overreacting. I'm hearing shit. I'm hearing stuff in my sleep. It's freaking cold out here. Hello? You fucking shit! What the? Oh, I'm losing my mind. No, that's a fucking... That's a mask. There's a fucking mask. Hello? I didn't notice if that was there earlier. Hello?
In the middle of the night, CJ wakes to a loud impact against the van. The silence that followed was broken by the clear, slow rhythm of footsteps crunching on dry leaves just outside where he lay. Shaking, he pointed his flashlight out the window into the darkness and saw something that would stay with him long after that night. A disturbing mask hung from a branch right beside the van. He knew it had not been there earlier. Then came the final moment, the sound of a woman's voice carried through the darkness just outside his door. The situation felt like it was closing in. Sensing real danger, CJ shouted a warning into the night. The realization that someone was so close became overwhelming. Many viewers believe the events point to human involvement rather than coincidence. The moving lights, footsteps, and the mask suggest intentional actions meant to intimidate or observe. If someone placed the mask near the van, how long had they been watching before CJ realized he was no longer alone? On January 16, 2022, deep within an unnamed lava-formed cave system, the Caveman Hikes team returned for another mapping mission. Their channel focuses on pushing through brutal squeezes and entering spaces most people say they never would. This time, caveman Gary, Calvin, and Arlen faced a cave so tight that even breathing required effort. From the first crawl, the rock made it clear nothing would come easily. At the entrance, Caveman had to chip away jutting stone just to fit inside. The opening squeeze felt more like a clamp of rock than a passage, and his warning carried weight only experienced cavers belonged there. It was mapping day, and the cave showed no concern for who entered. Still, the narrow darkness ahead carried an even sharper tension.
Now let's get Gary through there.
I shouldn't be talking too much. You'll shove me in.
We can get you through. There's also body twisting techniques to get through stuff. Some of it, you can twist your body, you can get through a smaller space.
I know that, like, I can my shoulders by just one Superman or one. What? Come help me.
Okay, we're coming.
It takes a moment for the other cavers to notice there's a problem.
Do you want back?
On his first attempt to the tightest portion of the entrance,
Right.
one of the cavers has become stuck in the passage. These kinds of maneuvers can be dangerous if the caver is alone. But with the team present, assistance is always close by.
I will.
The caver is wedged in a small passage, hands down and at his side. He now has almost no leverage to move himself free. Calvin moves himself into position where he can pull his team member by his ankles backward until he is free. With limited space, it is always a fight for leverage.
Want more? I'm going to keep a hold of this one.
Gary led the descent, arms pinned tightly to his sides as he pulled himself through the first squeeze. Plastic sheets dragged beneath him, reducing only a small amount of friction as stone pressed in from every direction. The second constriction was worse, longer, tighter, and unforgiving. Every inch forward had to be earned. Then, the cave reminded them who was in control. Halfway through, one member became stuck so firmly that he couldn't move at all. Calvin pulled him back by the boots, freeing him only after the crushing pressure eased. They widened the rock again before continuing. Even Arlen, moving with healing ribs and a fractured jaw, pressed on with steady, careful focus. Relief finally reached the group only when they emerged from the squeeze. Hours later, they located the looping passage that led back near the original entrance. Each member angled their body upward through the final crack, careful to avoid the deeper section that could trap them. Crawling out felt like peeling themselves free from the cave's hold. Caveman surfaced with torn clothing, a record of every harsh scrape the cave had dealt. Even viewers watching safely from home admitted their heart rate spiked at the sight of those passages. Many said they would never enter a cave again, that even an MRI now felt spacious. The real fear wasn't the darkness, it was losing all room to move. And as the team escaped with only inches to spare, one question remained: if these are the passages humans can survive, how many tighter tunnels remain untouched, simply because no one should ever attempt them? On September 20th, 2024, Mame from Mame Channel, a creator known for traveling alone through Japan's most haunted locations, returned to the abandoned silver mines of Inai Ginzan in Akita. By day, the ruins felt like the remains of a long-buried tragedy. But once night settled over the forest, and the sealed mine entrance, the place carried a weight that no longer felt entirely empty. He began his journey in Saitama, restarting his nationwide exploration of haunted sites and announcing the release of his upcoming book.
秋田県着きました。なんかあっちの方すげえ。山、超綺麗。すごいすごい。で、今日はね、ひとまずホテルに泊まって休みます。明日昼からちょっと院内銀山見に行こう。やばいやばい。くっそ雨降ってきた。最悪だ。初日からまさかこんなびしょびしょになるとは。この辺だけど、あ、これか。着きました。
As the day continued, he shifted focus and started introducing Inai Ginzan, a place known for its thousands of graves, collapsed tunnels, and stories of fire. Yet the unease he felt there seemed less tied to history and more to presence, and the deeper he went, the heavier that presence became. He spent the following day learning about the mine's past at the Heritage Museum before stepping into the forested remains of the old settlement. Rows of moss-covered gravestones stretched through the trees, and even the statue of Cannon felt different than it had in daylight. Locals warned that electronics often malfunctioned there, and as he walked among the relics, that warning lingered in his thoughts. Still, the real test came after dark. By evening, heavy rain followed him back to the mine entrance. He set up his tent directly in front of the sealed shaft, unsettled by what sounded like a man's voice, and then a child's, faintly carried through the storm. The moment he left camp to climb toward the shrine in the dark,
すごいな。なんかまた赤くなってないやっぱ。気のせいじゃなかった。なんで？ちょっと待って、やばいやばい。めっちゃ怖い。お邪魔しました。月明かりまで来ましたね。こんばんは。とりあえず観音様のところへ戻りますか。そしたらこの辺でスピリットボックス使ってみますか。この観音様の近くで。こんばんは。夜遅くにすいません。誰かいますか？なんか横切んなかった。なんか影が横切んなかった。こんばんは。誰かいませんか？すいません、どうもありがとうございました。失礼します。応答なしですね。暗闇にしてみますか、ここで。よし。赤外線定点カメラで。これやっぱ声みたいにするんだよね。じゃあ消しまーす。あっ、すごい。ちょっと待って、動けないな。やばいな。すごい圧迫感。暗闇に押しつぶされそうな感じですね。なんか包まれてる。みたいな言わなかった。誰か。もう一回消します。ちょっともう疲れた。歩き疲れた。ちょっと待って。わかんない。もう足音に聞こえた、普通に。もういっか。頑張ったよね。すいません、本当ありがとうございました。お邪魔しました。あ、はい。失礼します。女の人の声しなかった。すいません、本当ありがとうございました。お邪魔しました。ほら、普通に人が喋ってる感じしますね。よし。そしたら、戻りましょう、テントまで。そういえば雨やみましたね。めっちゃ嬉しい。戻ってきました。よし。テント戻ろう。こんばんは。戻ってきました。マジでここに寝るのか。
A sense of being watched followed every step, and something seemed to trail him back down the slope. At the Cannon statue, his camera briefly lost audio, and later the infrared lens shifted into unusual colors as he walked through the cemetery. More than once, he heard what sounded like people talking despite the mountain being empty at that hour. When he finally returned to his tent, the sudden disappearance of his back pain felt just as unnatural as everything else. But the night still held one more disturbance. He let the infrared camera run as he tried to rest. Footsteps circled outside the tent.
なんかこっちが行動なんですけど、なんかすっごい気配する。雨降ってきましたね。最悪や。 すごい雨音。ということで、寝る準備ができたので、寝ます。寝れるか、これ。でも、超眠い。音みたいにしなかった。現在時刻2時ですね。それは眠いわけだ。一応テント内も赤外線カメラずっと回していきたいと思います。すみなさい。音と話し声みたいに聞こえる。
Followed by faint voices he couldn't identify. Near dawn, while packing up, a sharp metallic clang echoed from deep within the sealed mine like a tool striking stone far below. He froze, realizing it came from a tunnel no one had entered in decades. The sound stayed with him long after he rode away. Some viewers suggested the voices resembled adult and child tones often reported at haunted locations, while others pointed out that the camera's strange color shifts matched earlier claims of electrical interference. A few argued the sounds could have come from wildlife common in Akita's mountains. But if the mine was sealed and no one else was there during the storm, then what caused that final metallic strike from inside the tunnel? And more importantly, who or what was still working in the dark?